Hey, what's up you guys, it's Connor, and I'm here to do my November wrap-up. If you haven't seen my review of The Awakening of the Mageknight, I said in there that I haven't been reading since the last time I made a video about books, which was in August, I believe. And so I'm gonna quick tell you about the 2 books that I read in August, and then the 6 that I read in November. The first book I read in August was The Burning Bridge by John Flanagan. This is the second book in the Ranger's Apprentice series. I don't really remember any of their names because it's been a few months since I've even looked at it or thought about it, but I remember that I really did enjoy it, and I'm pretty sure I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. But yeah, I'm excited to read the third in the series, and hopefully I'll probably get it for Christmas. The second book that I read in August was Echo by Alison Noel. This is the second book in the Soul Seekers series. It was a trilogy and recently got turned into a series. In it, Dare continues to fight the bad guys with her boyfriend, Dace, and they're fighting Cade, which is Dace's twin. And, you know, I'm not going to talk about it too much because it's the second in the series and I don't want to ruin anything. But I did really enjoy it. I gave it a 4 out of 5 on Goodreads, and I am looking forward to reading the third book. One thing I do not like, though, is that the covers are really, really girly. Like, the first one was kind of girly, but it wasn't too bad. But this one, like, look at it. It's like, oh, my dress. And the third one is pretty bad as well. And I think I've looked at the fourth cover, and it's like the same thing. So it's like, I should do a video on the books I don't want to buy because of the covers. Moving on to November, I read 6 books this month. And the first one that I read was The Awakening of the Mageknight by D.M. Fife. He sent me his book to review, and I did do that review, and I'll leave a link to that review in the description. It's about a boy named Danny who finds out that a card game that he plays is actually real life. And, you know, he has to go and train and become a knight and, you know, fight the dark side. What is it? Yeah, the dark. Gotta fight the dark. And I really did enjoy it, and I'm looking forward to reading the second one whenever that comes out. I don't know, it's self-published, so I don't think they really have release dates. Then I read Battle of the Ampere? Is that how you say that word? By Richard Paul Evans. It's the second book, no, it's the third book in the Michael Vey series. In it, the Electric Clan is still fighting against the company that created them, and Dr. Hatch is also having his own agenda and is pushing that through with his kids that he has control over. And, yeah, it's just a big mesh of kids with electric powers. I really enjoyed it. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. And I didn't enjoy it as much as the last 2, but I still did very much enjoy it. And I will be reading the 4th book whenever that comes out. By the way, if you want any of these books that I haven't already reviewed, just let me know in the comments and I can definitely do that for you. The next book that I read was The House of Hades by Rick Riordan, and of course I absolutely loved it. I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. It's the continuation of the Percy Jackson / The Heroes of Olympus series. I'm not going to say too much about it even though I loved it. The next book that I read in the month of November was The Shadow by A.G. Porter. Amanda is a booktuber who has an account, and I'll leave a link to her channel below. But she sent me her book to review, and I read it, and I did a review. I just need to edit and put it up online, and that should be up fairly soon. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars, and I did like it, and I will read the next one as well. So many books. The next book I read was Eldest by Christopher Paolini. This is the second book in the Inheritance Cycle. My copy of the book still said it was a trilogy, so that just shows how much or how long I've owned it without reading it. The first time I tried reading it, I got so bored and I put it down and I never picked it up again, and so I haven't ever read Inheritance or the one before that, Brissinger, whatever. But this time I was determined to get through it. Even though there was that really, really boring part and I really wanted to put it down, I refused to let myself stop reading. I just had to push through that one part and get something interesting before putting it down so that I wouldn't just quit. After that boring part, however, the book really picked up and I really enjoyed it and everything, and Roran was such a badass. He was so hardcore and became like crazy amazing in my eyes, and he just like, does his own thing, and Aragon is training, and yeah. I can't wait to read Brissinger, which I already own, so that should be something that I read fairly soon. The last book that I read was on November 30th. I literally read it on the last day of November. That's why I didn't do a wrap-up video sooner. Was The Magician's Nephew by C.S. Lewis. Yeah, The Magician's Nephew by C.S. Lewis. It's the first book chronologically of the Chronicles of Narnia. It wasn't the first one published, but it's like what happens to create Narnia. It's a very short read. In the version that I have, which I have this picture of, it's only 100 pages or so. And so the writing style of C.S. Lewis is like, so far that I can tell. I did read, I think, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe at some point in elementary school, but I don't remember anything that happens. All I remember is what happens in the movie. It's very apparent that you're reading. He like points it out to you, and I'm not sure how much I like it, but for 100 pages it wasn't bad, but I don't know about for the rest of this big clunk of a book, because it has all of the chronicles in it. That being said, I really did enjoy it, and I think I would give it a 4 out of 5 stars, just because a lot does happen in a short amount of time, and I did like the explanation. It does have a lot of similarities to the Judeo-Christian creation story, which is fine, but if you're not going to like that, you should not read it. So, those are the 8 books I've read since the last time I did a wrap-up video. Again, if you'd like to see any of these books reviewed, leave a comment down below, or if you have any comments about the books that I read and such, leave those below, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye!